The last thing he told me was, "You'll come back eventually." I did, but not for the reasons he feared. My name is Lena Ortiz, and those words from my father, delivered with a mocking chuckle that echoed in the boardroom, ignited a fire within me that refused to dim. It was a gray February morning in 2025, the Seattle skyline shrouded in a thick mist that clung to the glass towers, where I just stormed out of Ortiz Tech Solutions, my father's mid-sized software firm, after a confrontation that left my pride in tatters. I was 26, a determined woman with a sharp mind for AI development and a nascent idea for a startup, IntelliSync, still in its conceptual phase with no revenue yet, a dream I cradled in silence. My dad, Victor Ortiz, a 55-year-old tech veteran with a commanding presence, had dismissed my ambitions during a board meeting, his laughter cutting through the tension as he said, "You'll never make it without me," his eyes glinting with condescension. The room's silence, broken only by the snickers of his loyal executives, cut deeper than his words, a public humiliation that seared my soul. But beneath my clenched jaw and forced calm, I harbored a secret. Days earlier, I'd pitched IntelliSync to a discreet angel investor, a lifeline he'd never suspect. That night, alone in my cramped studio apartment overlooking Puget Sound, the distant foghorn a somber lament blending with the rain's patter, I opened my laptop, my fingers trembling with a mix of rage and resolve, the screen's glow my only companion. The journey ahead would turn his laughter into my leverage, a promise I whispered to the shadows. The dismissal was a raw, festering wound. Victor had been my mentor once. Late-night coding sessions in his sprawling office, weekend hikes through the Cascades where he'd point out constellations, dreams of innovating side by side, until his control tightened like a vice, suffocating my creativity. Raised in Seattle's vibrant tech hub, I'd grown up shadowing him, absorbing his lessons, but his empire-building left little room for my voice, his shadow looming larger with each year. The boardroom taunt, with its public stripping of my dignity, felt like a betrayal of our shared past, his executives nodding along in a chorus of approval, my confidence shattered into 1,000 jagged pieces. I was an only child, shaped by a mother who taught me independence through quiet strength, and now that resilience surged like a river breaking its banks, the pain sparked a resolve. I'd build a company to outshine his, replace his outdated systems with my innovation, and prove my worth on a stage he couldn't ignore. I took my laptop to a quiet cafe near Pike Place Market, its aroma of fresh roasted coffee a comforting embrace amidst the city's hum, managing IntelliSync's early code with a fierce focus that drowned out the clatter of cups. By March 2025, I'd saved $9,000 from freelance AI gigs, my determination solidifying with each line of code, a quiet rebellion against his doubt. The journey was unforgiving, a test of endurance. I balanced startup work and consulting, sleeping 4 hours a night, my eyes bleary and burning from endless debugging under the dim light of my desk lamp, the weight of my ambition pressing down. I'd conceived IntelliSync during a late-night hackathon, an AI platform to optimize tech support with seamless efficiency, now valued at $12,000 in potential, a fragile seed I nurtured with care. Victor's taunt shaped a strategy. I'd grow my venture, target Ortiz Tech, and turn his doubt into my advantage, his laughter a fuel for my fire. I contacted a mentor, Dr. Kim, costing $3,000 for her expertise, my savings hitting $12,000 by April 2025, a small fortune earned through grit. I worked 60-hour weeks, coding prototypes in a haze of caffeine and determination, earning a $2,000 fee from a startup client, my resolve hardening with each breakthrough, the code a testament to my defiance. Building IntelliSync took tenacity, a battle against skepticism. I analyzed Ortiz Tech's market, Victor's firm with $70 million revenue and a legacy of innovation now tinged with stagnation, spotting inefficiencies in their support department, a weakness I could exploit. I hired Dr. Kim, her insights a guiding light, and gathered data. Outdated software clogging their systems, client complaints piling up, Victor's reliance on manual processes a glaring flaw. My savings rose to $15,000, and I invested $5,000 in a cloud server for testing, projecting $11,000 returns, a calculated risk to accelerate my vision. I visited a tech expo on April 15, 2025, navigating the crowded aisles of the convention center, networking with investors, my pitch sharp and polished. A startup founder, struck by my drive, offered leads, a potential ally in my quest, but Victor's presence, smirking from Ortiz Tech's sleek booth, his posture exuding confidence, unsettled me, his gaze a challenge I couldn't ignore. Doubts crept in. Could I outpace him, a titan in my field? Would his influence block my path with unseen obstacles? I pressed on, sketching a business plan on a cafe napkin, the ink smudging with spilled espresso, a symbol of my dual struggles between hope and hardship. The confrontation brewed, a storm gathering. I invited Dr. Kim to my apartment on April 20, 2025, my heart pounding with anticipation, the room lit by the soft glow of city lights through the rain-streaked window. She arrived, her laptop heavy with data, her presence a steady anchor. I spread the analysis. Ortiz Tech's weaknesses, Victor's stalled projects, the potential for disruption, across my cluttered table. You can disrupt them, she said, her voice confident, a spark of belief in her eyes. Their systems are ripe for replacement. I called a former colleague, Jay, who'd left Ortiz Tech disillusioned, seeking insight into the inner workings. He visited, his face grim, the data in my hands a map to victory. Victor's stubborn, but the board's worried about his old ways, he warned, his voice low. Watch your step, he won't go down easy. The truth was daunting. Opportunity laced with risk, a tightrope walk that fueled my ambition with every step. The shift was exhilarating, a surge of empowerment. I expanded IntelliSync, securing a $7,000 contract with a Seattle startup for AI support, my savings climbing to $18,000, a nest egg growing with my dreams. My venture valuation hit $20,000, a modest but promising start, but the rivalry with Victor consumed me, his laughter a constant echo. Jay called again, cautioning about Victor's allies within the industry, their loyalty a potential threat, but I hung up, his warning a hurdle I refused to let slow me. IntelliSync thrived, booking $2,500 in pre-orders from eager clients, a validation of my vision. My focus turned to growth, launching a Sync Surge crowdfunding campaign, earning $2,000 in pledges, a public declaration of my intent. But tension brewed on the horizon. A rival developer, Marcus Reed, began undercutting my bids with aggressive pricing, his tone smug, his AI solutions eerily similar to mine. I uncovered his tie to Victor, old golf partners from a shared past, costing me a $3,000 deal, a blow that stung. A sudden snowstorm hit Seattle, blanketing the city and freezing my server room, the cold seeping into my bones. I tensed. Was this Marcus's sabotage, a calculated move to derail me, or nature's cruel test of my resolve? Standing amid the icy chaos, the business plan clutched in my frostbitten hands, I felt Victor's laughter ringing in my ears, and a rising challenge that promised to test my limits. What was next? The frozen server room and Marcus Reed's undercut bids lingered in my mind as I stood in my Seattle apartment, the Puget Sound shrouded in a fresh snowstorm's haze. The thrill of building IntelliSync, my father Victor's rival, backed by the Sync Surge campaign, felt like a fragile edge against this mounting pressure. My fingers brushed the icy server casing, Victor's mocking laughter from that boardroom a stark contrast to my progress. The insurance claim on the snow damage was delayed, Dr. Kim's guidance a flickering hope. Was Marcus sabotaging me, leveraging his golf ties with Victor? Or was the storm a random blow, testing my resolve? My pulse quickened, but I steadied myself. The crowdfunding earned $2,200 monthly, my savings at $18,000, and IntelliSync thrived with $3,000 monthly from pre-orders. Yet the challenge hinted at a deeper rivalry. I thought the servers determined to push on and called Dr. Kim, her voice a steady anchor. Keep innovating, she said. We'll outpace them. I nodded, plotting my next move. The next morning I met Dr. Kim at a co-working space near the Space Needle, the scent of warm coffee blending with my focus. Her keen eyes scanned the damage report and Marcus's bid sheets. This is targeted pressure, she said, her tablet glowing with charts. Scale your platform and fortify your team. Ortiz Tech is the target. I agreed, my mind racing. I contacted tech investors, launching a IntelliRise funding drive to accelerate IntelliSync, costing $6,000 and dipping my savings to $12,000. At my apartment I briefed my team, 2 developers, a marketing intern. In the living room the air still cold from the storm. We're challenged, I explained, showing the evidence. Their faces set with resolve, they committed to the fight. My venture valuation hit $25,000, but the stakes rose with every code commit. My ascent intensified. I expanded IntelliSync, securing a $8,000 contract with a Seattle e-commerce firm for AI support, and invested $7,000 in advanced AI training models, projecting $14,000 returns. My savings climbed to $13,000, and I upgraded the apartment with insulated storage, working 18-hour days to refine the platform amid the city's chill. Jay called, his voice laced with concern, urging me to avoid Victor's wrath, but I hung up, his caution a hurdle. The e-commerce deal added $4,500 monthly, boosting my momentum. Dr. Kim's update unsettled me. Marcus had been seen at Ortiz Tech's HQ, his AI now mirroring my tech, and his alliance with Victor fueled his interference. He's protecting Victor's legacy, she said. But their department's failing. The rivalry burned in my mind, a fire I couldn't quench. The pressure escalated a week later. A client demo was disrupted. Marcus's team spread rumors of my inexperience, costing me a $3,500 deal. No threat, just a sting. My stomach tightened. I called Dr. Kim, who suggested a public demo to expose Marcus's tactics. I reinforced the apartment, spending $4,000 on weatherproofing, and hired a part-time assistant, a sharp coder named Tara. The police noted the rumors. Marcus's voice on a call, but no legal action, while Dr. Kim traced his supplier links, hinting at a grudge. Paranoia crept in, every email a potential ambush, yet I refused to yield. I leveraged the funding drive's buzz, launching a Sync Live webinar series that booked $5,500, lifting my income. Marcus confronted me, calling from his office, his tone smug. "Lena, you're out of your depth," he taunted. "Back off." I hung up, but curiosity gnawed. Dr. Kim dug deeper, uncovering Marcus's past rivalry with Victor over a promotion. A bond turned sour. "He's using you to settle scores," she warned. I faced Marcus at a tech meetup, Tara nearby. "Why copy me?" I demanded. He smirked. "Victor's downfall helps us both." I left, his words a riddle, but the rivalry hinted at a shared agenda. I mounted a counterstrike. With Dr. Kim's help, I streamed the webinar, showcasing my AI's edge over Marcus's copies, drawing 1,200 viewers. I boosted my research, securing a $12,000 contract with a local tech firm, pushing my valuation to $40,000. The firm's team monitored my work, easing my nerves. But tension mounted. A webinar was cut short. Power outage, Marcus's laughter audible. The police logged it, but proof was thin. I called Dr. Kim, who suggested a personal angle, given Jay's hints. The stream gained traction. I compiled evidence. Dr. Kim's reports, Marcus's rumors, meetup footage, working late to refine it, my apartment lit by a desk lamp. Marcus offered a $11,000 truce to end the webinars. "Let's collaborate," he pressed over a tense call. "No," I told Dr. Kim. "I want Ortiz Tech." The next live event arrived, a virtual crowd of 1,600. Marcus scowled as I revealed his tech thefts, Victor's name surfacing. The chat buzzed, viewers rallied, and Marcus's reputation dipped. As I signed off, he muttered, "You'll pay for this." That night, a blizzard swept Seattle, blanketing the city. No message, but a legal notice from Ortiz Tech's counsel slid under the door. "Cease targeting or face review." No court, just pressure. I froze. Who sent it? Marcus's move? Victor's defense? The victory felt fragile, a new obstacle rising. I called Dr. Kim, who promised a counterplan. My rise was gaining, but the storm was intensifying. The legal notice from Ortiz Tech and the relentless blizzard battering Seattle haunted me as I stood in my apartment. The Puget Sound cloaked in a swirling snowstorm, its icy waves crashing faintly below. The thrill of outpacing my father Victor with IntelliSync, bolstered by the Sync Live webinar, felt like a fragile triumph against this mounting pressure. My breath hitched as I reread the notice. "Cease targeting or face scrutiny." The unknown force from Victor's corporate world, a stark contrast to my rising success, the paper crinkling under my grip. The police investigation into Marcus Reed's interference had slowed, Dr. Kim's strategy a tenuous lifeline amid the storm's chaos. Who was behind this? Marcus's network fueled by his grudge? Victor's allies protecting his legacy? Or a company shield I hadn't yet pierced? I dialed Dr. Kim, my voice steady despite the tension coiling in my chest, the phone cold against my ear. Push through, I said, my words a vow. We're close. She promised unwavering support, her tone resolute, a beacon in the blizzard. The victory was mine. Marcus's reputation dented, my startup soaring, but a tempest brewed with every line of code I wrote. The next day, I met Dr. Kim at a heated co-working space near Pioneer Square, the scent of warm coffee and damp wool grounding me amid the snow's aftermath. Her furrowed brow examined the notice and webinar analytics, the hum of a space heater filling the silence. This is corporate pushback, she said, her fingers tapping a tablet. Go public with the takeover and shield your assets. Victor's the weak link. I nodded, my mind racing with determination, the sound of snowplows outside a constant reminder of the stakes. I contacted tech venture capitalists, planning an IntelliTake acquisition event to secure Ortiz Tech, costing $15,000 and dipping my savings to negative $2,000, a bold move offset by a business loan. At my apartment, I briefed my team, 3 developers, a livestream tech. In the living room, the air still chilly from the blizzard. We're targeted, I explained, showing the evidence, my voice firm despite the cold seeping in. Their faces steeled, but they rallied, vowing loyalty with a nod, their trust a fortress. My startup earned $12,000 monthly, a testament to my rise from Victor's shadow, but risk loomed like the snowdrifts outside. I spent $14,000 on blizzard proofing, insulated walls and backup power, reducing my savings further, the loan a lifeline I balanced. Protection became my stronghold. Dr. Kim's first update came that evening, her voice cutting through the static of a snow-laden line. She'd secured a major investor, eyeing Ortiz Tech's $70 million valuation, its stock down 22% since my campaign exposed their inefficiencies. Victor's department is the crack, she said, her words sharp with opportunity. You can replace it. I shared it with my team, their eyes lighting up as we drafted acquisition terms, the room alive with the click of keyboards and the glow of screens. Meanwhile, I immersed myself in work, launching an IntelliCore AI suite, booking $25,000 and earning $15,000, the creative surge a balm for my frayed nerves. My savings rose to $13,000 with the loan, my startup valuation reaching $60,000, a milestone that pulsed with pride and pressure. Jay called, his voice heavy with concern, pleading I spare Victor's pride, but I hung up, his empathy a burden I couldn't shoulder, the memory of that boardroom laugh too fresh. The rivalry cast a shadow over my gains, a dark cloud I refused to let dim my light. A snowstorm struck again days later, burying the streets and cutting power, halting work for a day as I shoveled snow from the entrance. No note, just nature's wrath intensified by the season. The police logged it as weather-related, but I suspected Marcus's influence. His smug grin at the meetup lingered, a hint of sabotage. I called Dr. Kim, her voice steady over the crackling line, who suggested a live reveal to force Ortiz Tech's hand. I agreed, drafting a statement with a trembling hand. From laughter to leadership, I faced their resistance. I won't break. The event, held virtually from a backup studio, drew 2,200 attendees. My voice wavered as I presented the acquisition pitch, Victor's department data a damning exhibit. But I stood firm, my resolve hardening with each word, the weight of 2,200 eyes fueling my fire. The story exploded, daughter replaces dad's tech, boosting my bookings to $28,000 monthly, though the pressure intensified. Dr. Kim's next report deepened the plot. She'd found Victor's internal emails, panicking about the takeover and Marcus's role in leaking my code to Ortiz Tech. Victor's vulnerable, she said. The board wants out. I tensed, the stakes soaring to a dizzying height, my heart pounding with the thrill of victory within reach. I rallied the event community, forming a Sync alliance, to counter Ortiz Tech's narrative, their support a digital army at my command, strengthening my base. I fortified the apartment, adding $10,000 in snow barriers and an 11th guard, a burly man named Sam. My savings dipped to $3,000, the loan a tightrope I walked, but the team's spirit held like an unbreakable bond. I trained them in crisis response, turning the space into a tech haven. The sabotage probe gained traction. My team uncovered Marcus's forged client reviews, costing me $11,000 in lost trust. I reported it to the police, who raided his office, seizing devices. Jay visited, confessing, "Victor regrets it, but his pride won't let him quit," adding personal pressure. Marcus's influence faded, losing 70% of his pull. Victory reshaped my world. My savings hit $70,000 with new contracts, $30,000 monthly from the AI suite, a creative triumph, and $20,000 from a tech summit deal, a stage for my power. My startup valuation soared to $90,000. I upgraded IntelliSync to a downtown hub, its server room a symbol of my rise, celebrating with craft beer under neon lights. But peace wavered when a text arrived, "Unknown number. You've gone too far. Pull back." I froze. Dr. Kim traced it to a burner, likely Ortiz Tech's legal team. I hired a compliance expert, spending $15,000. The challenge persisted. A rival firm outbid me, Marcus's doing, and my site was hacked, mocking my rise. The police probed, but leads lagged. I launched a tech future fund for $80,000, turning pain into purpose. The summit grew to $22,000 monthly. I drafted a memoir, From Laughter to Legacy, working late. A figure lingered near the hub. Dr. Kim suggested Marcus's aid with Ortiz Tech's backing. I added $12,000 in surveillance, savings at $75,000. Standing in the server room, the city aglow, I felt a win. Ortiz Tech near, Victor faltering, but the pullback loomed. Was it Marcus's revenge? A corporate shield? I sipped coffee, the figure lingering. What was next? Hey Revenge Tempest fans. Lena's journey from laughter to legacy is unforgettable. Loved it? Smash that subscribe button and join our crew. Drop a comment and tell us where you're watching from.